Hi, this is Paula, Gloria, and this show is called Farther Down the Rabbit Hole. The bell is chiming 12 at Union Square, so we're coming to you on the daily stream from rabbitholecentral.tv, which you know if you're watching the stream, and if you don't, you can always log on any day of the week, Monday through Friday, 12 noon here on the East Coast at rabbitholecentral.tv. Click on the Egyptian rabbit. We're going to be using the stream to facilitate other events. Alan Steinfeld is going to be doing an event, I believe, this weekend, either on Tantra or Immortality. So again, we'll have that Egyptian rabbit embedded in his website to facilitate ease of tuning into the stream. Today, what I want to talk about is something that's come up regarding nonviolent communication and some of the postings that I've had. Let me introduce this first. I was talking to Rosalie Grable, who's back in Chicago now, about the problems that we have as serious researchers and investigators into 9/11 truth. It's not that we're interested in doom and gloom and we want to dwell on dark topics. The same goes for the Holocaust. I was talking to Alan Steinfeld. Let's see if we're going to be on topic here. Rabbit Hole Central.
Quick call from me, honey.
Oh, can it be very quick? Because I've got so much material.
Yeah, we have to do it early on Friday.
Okay, great.
On 1:45. I'll get back to you later in the day.
Okay, thanks,
I'll hang
Harold.
up and go on with your rap.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Bye. I really appreciate that, Harold. What I want to be going over is that we're not into doom and gloom. We're not into the Holocaust for the sake of bringing up miserable topics, but for the sake, as I said to Alan, right now, when I had kind of a painful interaction with him today and Rosalie regarding the airplanes, there's a Holocaust going on right now. I mean, we have a war in Iraq that's benefiting in a very, it's the same old game. It's the merchants of death. The problem is the merchants have such powerful merchandise today, and the weapons that they're using, we don't clearly understand, and this lack of understanding goes back maybe 100 years. I think we were talking about the man Keeley, who at the turn of the century was talking about dustifying quartz in order to pull the gold out of it. Now this is something very revealing about what we see as evidence of this type of power in the World Trade Center. Likewise, when I brought up the whole topic yesterday of young Dr. Freud, a documentary, and it happens that my mother knew the man that produced this, and incidentally, Kino is the same producer that produced Ayurveda, Principle of the Five Elements for Healing. But in this case, there was a part that was a huge racial slur against Germans. And so it's not that we want to bring up these topics which are painful for the sake of bringing them up and sort of, muckraking, but for the sake of looking at the most painful so that we can go on and move in to those extraordinary levels of liberation, of abundance, of affluence, of joy, of sharing, if we can overcome these hurdles. So now, those of us who are no-planers, there tends to be some closed-mindedness towards us. Even when people say that they're open-minded, I'm questioning, do they even have access to this open mind that they're saying that they have? And maybe this is what's meant by enlightenment. And that's why it's something, meditation, spiritual practice is something that is used so that you achieve this really exalted awareness so that you can grasp what's needed to be grasped in order for the sake of us to survive and move forward. So what Rosalie said so efficiently, with no planers, we're always saying we've got no evidence just because we've got no space in which to show the evidence. And so that's why I wanted to move into to this very thoughtful email that I got. And that is this person saying regarding nonviolent communication and the posting that I had at St. Mark's recently. When you go, Paula, when you go to a place that you are obviously not wanted, you may get a negative response. While the gentleman who was yelling at you could have handled himself better, it looks to me that you were there to provoke such a response. That is not nonviolent. If for the fact of you being present, there would be no such response by him. Also, the tie thing is to jerk you around. You leave yourself open to that by being less than subtle in your approach. You may believe in your message, but there is a time, a place. Now, to this person, I answered back and kind of evaded it a little bit. And I said, is he the father of somebody who had written me a long time ago? And again, this was somebody that was promoting Howard Stern, saying that he watches Howard Stern and so on. And so let's see what his newest comment is on here, because he got even more thoughtful. Let's see. Yes, here we go. Because I kind of try to place people and figure out, where they are coming from, and if it's a place that's representative of a market that I'm trying to serve, which again has to do with these new realities, zero-point energy and so on, liberating us from the grind. Yes, I'm the father of the stand-up comic Jordan Cooper. You were invited onto the show. Okay, so what he's explaining, oh, I know what I said to him. I said, do you think it was effective for me to be on Howard Stern? And so he's answering back saying that I was invited onto the show with Howard Stern. True, Howard was interested in your entertainment value, but he did let you speak and he did interact with you. If you had been invited to St. Mark's and had been involved in a discussion at the event, that is fine. But from what I could see, this was not a public meeting, that is a government hearing, where all comers are welcome and get a chance to speak. So you being there did not advance your cause. It just polarized the situation. You could not say that you have a right to stand. You could say that you have a right to stand outside and confront, but does it accomplish anything except to upset the people there who were not coming over to your side anyway? Also, by appearing with Howard and doing that 1-hour show, you reached more people than you can on your local radio show. Howard had 3 million people listening daily. Well, incidentally, this is news to me about 3 million. I always thought Howard Stern had 8 million, and I think I saw him once going on as Santa Claus, talking about his decision to go on Sirius and how his going on raised it to 6 million. I thought, you guys are kind of stuck to that 6 million figure, but anyway, it was up to 8. But now this guy's talking about 3 million. Okay, so more people will be listening to Howard in the morning. By the time we had Total Penetration, our special in the evening, we won't have as many people. Yes, that I can grant you. But yeah, I don't even know if the 17,000 attempted calls is true either. But what I do know is that at St. Mark's, I care about it because it's a physical location. Like Rosalie said, we've got no evidence just because we've got no space to show that evidence. A nice, dignified place that's dedicated to showing all things. Now, I like St. Mark's. I like the historic value of it. I think Tompkins himself is buried there. I like, feeling that kind of connection with history. That's why I love Manhattan. I had raised my hand at St. Mark's and I said, if we're here to investigate 9/11 and my investigations take me to the direction that no planes flew into the buildings during 9/11, am I welcome? And Frank Morales said that I was. So I figured, okay, fine. And then with Les, he actually sent an email out. He had slated me to make a presentation on nonviolent communication, and I was going to stay totally away from I believe in this and you believe in that, but use the skills of empathy building to advance what he was trying to do, which is the ballot initiative. Now, my personal thing about the ballot initiative is I don't trust the people that are going to be doing the investigation. And I think Les was open to the fact that I am really questioning the death, which I think may well be a murder, of a young man who used to come there also, Dan Wallace. And, Les seemed okay about that because I was going to be really fastidious in my presentation on nonviolent communication to help build connections of empathy with people whose signatures you need to get the ballot to move forward. And the problem is pretty much the same as what I'm having, just dealing with one person, Dan Wallace, and his family, particularly Sabrina and Luke. I by no means am saying that they're guilty of murder of Dan Wallace. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying, are they playing into the hands of those who may be responsible for that? And by the same token, when you're talking about 3,000 deaths at the World Trade Center, then the issue is also important, because when Les goes out and he's collecting signatures, a lot of people don't even want to hear about this. They don't even want to think about this, let alone, put their signature on something that would be questioning a government who they look to as an institution that protects them. And my research, where it's taking me, and those that I'm working with, where it's taking them, is that this country and this government very much needs to be protected, just like you would be taking care of somebody who has a major health problem. You don't want to say the operation was successful, but the patient died. And that's why I'm passionate about expressing myself, and that's the reason I went to St. Mark's. Now, vibe-wise, I can say, yes, I'm not wanted, but let's be clear that I'm not wanted, that no planers, people who have a different viewpoint about how it's happened, are not allowed at St. Mark's. And if that's the case, then we very much need a venue where we can go. Now, there's a lot of places, different churches. I think there's the Quakers have space, and there's the Cavalry Church. They've got space. They're always eager to let you have space, but they always want money for it. Now, there's two things. One, money may be limited, and that's the case here at the Concordia Foundation. But two, when you charge money for something, then you don't have to be responsible for that something taking place. And I do want to find institutions that will line up with this re-investigation, or will be open to all investigations. So even in the time when I had $5 million and I could just write out checks easily, say, oh great, we'll just rent the room for tonight, I want more than that, because, for example, at the Arts Institute, at the National Arts Club, when they allowed us to come that night on the 23rd, that I didn't have the paperwork available, which I do now, so we'll correct that in the future, they put it out on their website. And there were people who were disappointed that they couldn't see the 9/11 video mashup art. This is an art form. This is something that is developing as that most wonderful aspect of those people in society who take a critical look at what's going on, and those particularly who are not as beholden to institutions. Now, you would expect scientists too should also be the types of leaders, and have this type of courage of heart that we need in order to advance the society. So what I want to do right now is make a couple of telephone calls and really establish whether I am welcome to St. Mark's or not. And I will be notifying people that they're being recorded.
Hello.
Say, Frank, this is Paula. Am I speaking to you or your tape recorder?
No, you're speaking to me.
Frank, I want to tell you I'm recording right now. Is that all right with you? I want you to say I want you to say whatever you want people to hear, but I got a very thoughtful email that said I shouldn't be going down to St. Mark's because I'm obviously not wanted there. And I had asked actually you if I took the position of no planes, if that was the case, am I welcome or not? And I don't care what you say, I will go by it. Hello? Hello? Oh, he didn't. He hung up on me. Well, I guess that's kind of a statement. So let's see if I can get Les Jamieson.
This is Les Jamieson. Please leave a message after the tone. Thank you very much.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Les, this is Paula calling, and I'm also recording this call, so if you have any response, I would really love to hear it. I know that you were not happy about my appearance on Howard Stern, but what I want to do is read you something that I got from somebody who promotes me being on Howard Stern. He goes, this is regarding nonviolent communication. He goes, when you go to a place that you are obviously not wanted, and I'm going by even that rough guy Andy was saying that Frank Morales and you are bending over backwards for me. So I wasn't clear that I wasn't wanted at St. Mark's, but he says, you may get a negative response. While the gentleman who was yelling at you, that's Andy, could have handled himself better, it looks to me that you were there to provoke such a response. That is not nonviolent. If for the fact of you being present, there would be no such response by him. Also, the Thai thing is to jerk you around. You leave yourself open to that by being less than subtle in your approach. You may believe in your message, but there is a time and a place. So, Les, I just want to say, I hope you get this. I want to say, as a fellow sincere seeker on the spiritual path, I mean, we've had two different paths, but I've always felt that you've respected mine, and I have always stood behind and respected yours. That we need to gather the resources together from our practice if we do it, or something that allows us to sort of gird ourselves and go beyond the social consensus, because the social consensus is what's brought 9/11, and that's what I wanted to support you reinvestigating in your way. Even though my strategy wasn't yours, I felt that skills in nonviolent communication would allow us to stay connected. And so I got Frank Morales for a while, but unfortunately he hung up on me. And I know that we're all making heroic efforts, and that there's a lot of forces that we don't quite see behind the scenes, but if we're together, maybe we can see them. So thanks, Les. Get back with me if you can. I really hope you can, because I want to move this forward. Okay, bye. Rabbit Hole Central.
Paula?
Yes.
It's Wendy from the Scandal.
Wendy, are you watching me? Because I'm streaming right now.
I'm not at my computer, unfortunately, darling.
Oh, could you make a statement? Because Wendy, I've promoted you in the past as the owner of the hat shop that gave me a wonderful job in the month of December, and you've been a very generous sponsor to what I'm doing. Can you say something? Because people are watching right now.
Well, I support what Paula does every day, getting the truth out and divergent points of view. And you have such a good heart and head, Paula. It's marvelous that you have such access to the world now.
Well, I can't tell you, Wendy, how much it means to you, because it's really a hard struggle, but I'm very optimistic. And one thing I'm researching too is I believe that local businesses need more support, and even the whole idea of consumerism. Consumerism doesn't have to be a bad thing at all.
No,
and
doesn't.
It makes our life more joyful, more balanced. Nothing's nicer than seeing a beautiful woman, and when she's dressed well, and when she goes into a shop that helps her make a nice selection. That's a part of your day that you're sharing with another person physically.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that the internet can replace that. And particularly in the East Village, there's this history of designers and innovation and trend setting. They often say that the fashion starts downtown and then it goes uptown.
Right. And we're losing that little by little to the big corporate retailers.
Well, I don't even believe corporations are the problem. I wanted to do a presentation at St. Mark's about nonviolent communication and corporations.
Yes.
I think we can make all of these things work for us the deeper our knowledge is.
Probably so.
And
also coming to a small entrepreneurial business keeps creative talents. We make a lot of our own items.
Right.
Keeps jobs and creativity in the neighborhoods, and lots of jobs in the neighborhood as well.
Right. What I'm trying to do is develop a map of sponsors who are helping us, and also shows and other producers who I admire, because I know you've helped Dean Lauren in the past, and I know a lot of my new viewers on the internet are just very impressed and astonished and delighted at what Manhattan Neighborhood Network public access television has.
Yes.
So with this map, what I'm hoping to do is find some of the sponsors, and also there may be some viewers who have a favorite shop, and they might want to donate towards that shop being, supported and highlighted on the website. So again, I don't want you local businesses to view the internet as an enemy or something that's taking away your business.
That's a very healthy way to look at it, Paula.
Yeah, and I think even global support, there may be people around the world that say, I really like that little shop, and I really want to promote you going in there, because I want to be going around and start streaming from shops. And I was sort of sad the other day that you were dealing with customers, and on the stream I wasn't able to show my viewers some of the wonderfulness of you, Wendy.
That's very sweet of you, Paula.
You're very courageous. You're persistent. You represent the kind of creativity on a local level that I want to highlight to an international level, thanks to the internet. Even if you may not get actual hat sales in China or in Africa, you can help a message go out to those places that make people feel better about Americans, and that's got to be good karma that'll come back to you.
That should be the goal, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, a peaceful word from America.
Anyway, I know you weren't expecting to be online, but if you have anything you want to share with people, you can do that now. Otherwise, we can talk privately. I'll call you back or drop by the shop later.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I just I hope that your message of peace and honesty and knowledge permeates the whole world, Paula.
Oh, thank you so much, Wendy. And I want to tell anybody in New York who's listening to this, the Village Scandal Hat Shop is on 7th Street by Cooper Union, and Cooper Union has a wonderful history of helping to uplift society by,
Certainly. Yes, that's where Abraham Lincoln launched his national campaign for president.
Right, and
on the balcony of Cooper Union.
And Peter Cooper was an entrepreneur who made available more education to poor people.
That's right. So it's wonderful energy.
And I want you to know you're definitely doing that, Wendy, with this
Paula.
project.
That's to you and all your viewers.
Okay, thanks. I'll stop by later.
Okay, good.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't have planned that better. So before I wrap up the stream, I'm going to make one last call to the city of New York.
You've reached the voicemail box for the Fraud Prevention Director for the Lower Manhattan Construction Command Center. For assistance, please contact John Conroy, Acting Fraud Prevention Director, at the following phone number, 212-587-9748. Thank you.
When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yes, this is Paula Gloria from the Concordia Foundation. I also have a public access television show on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Monday through Friday, Channel 34 at 11:30. I am looking for Robin Forrest. I was told to call this person about getting a permit to hand out literature about 9/11. I am from the camp that does not believe it was done by the government, does not believe it was controlled demolition, and I'm very concerned that there is contact with the public and that there can be a galvanization and a mobilization of focus so that we can rectify a situation and not have worse situations. My number is 212-982-0021. I would like to stand near the Deutsche Bank to be on the other side of where a group who takes a different opinion than we have. They're promoting a different agenda. I have no ill will towards them. I think they're also well-meaning, but I want to make sure that there's no clashes and confrontations about this. So I'm also going to be posting this message to you on YouTube, and I hope that you can call me back to tell me how we can go about this so that we can exercise our constitutional right, which is the freedom to assemble, and understood with the freedom of assembling is the freedom to exchange knowledge in an American way. So thank you very much for your time. Again, my number is 212-982-0021. My name is Paula Gloria, and I am with the Concordia Foundation. Thank you. So I think that's about it for today. I will cut the stream. There was one thing I failed to talk about, and that is a newspaper article I got. Lieberman targets terrorist content on YouTube. And what this says is that branded with Al-Qaeda logos, videos easily available on YouTube showed assassinations, deaths of U.S. soldiers and civilians, weapons, training, speeches by Al-Qaeda leadership, and more, all intended to encourage violence against the Western world. Only after Senator Joe Lieberman of Connecticut pointed out the content in a letter to internet giant Google, who owns YouTube, was much of the most graphic content removed on May 20th. The videos taken down violated YouTube's own rules against gratuitous violence. And this is terrorist content persists on YouTube despite outcry. That is a start, but it is not enough, said Lieberman in an online statement on that day. Videos produced by Al-Qaeda and Al-Qaeda affiliates showing attacks on American troops remain on YouTube's website and violate YouTube's own community guidelines. Those videos should be taken down immediately. Lieberman said he also wants Google to take down other content that may not be violent, but that is used to disseminate terrorist propaganda, elitist followers, and provide weapons training. No matter what their content, videos produced by terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda that are committed to attacking America and killing Americans should not be tolerated. Google must reconsider its policies, said Lieberman. In an online response, YouTube deferred to free speech. Senator Lieberman stated his belief in a letter sent today. That all videos mentioning or featuring these groups should be removed from YouTube, even legal non-violent or non-hate speech videos, even legal non-violent. While we respect and understand his views, YouTube encourages free speech and defends everyone's right to express unpopular points of view. One such blog that might be censored if Google decided to step up its regulations reads, "O Allah, defeat the spiteful Rawafeds, Shiites, and the Zionist Crusaders, U.S. forces, and their allies. O Allah, make them with their equipment a booty for the Muslims. O Allah, destroy them." Lieberman's letter followed the release of a report earlier this month from the U.S. Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs that examines the serious threat of homegrown terrorism. The report mentions the potential for radicalization in the U.S. prisons, inciting the activities of Kevin Lamar James, an American citizen. So it goes on to say that while in prison, this guy adopted a violent Islamic ideology. He began to convert followers to his ideology, and he eventually robbed places, and he used the proceeds to finance attacks against military installations and other targets in Southern California. James eventually pled guilty to conspiring to wage war against the United States. So I also want to say that There were people complaining that pedophile sites were not taken down off of YouTube. At the same time, people will cite freedom of speech and they'll want censorship, and they'll say that censorship's a good thing. And I think it has to be used with great discrimination, and that's why I think it's very important that YouTube be given the binary model. If we have more capital distribution, we'll have more creativity, and these committees that make these decisions to take things down or not will be more mindful of the real needs. I am certainly against having, sites up that are not promoting the common good. But I'd like to say that videos of mine were taken down, and that's why I made that telephone call. I'll be on the other side of the World Trade Center, Ground Zero, so I'm not misunderstood. But we very much need a physical location to show our research and to advance what we're talking about. We need a physical place, and we need a venue to share what we're finding out. And it has to be more than just the internet, because you can see these terrorist groups are targeted, and it could be under this terrorist heading that my videos are getting taken down, even if I'm using nonviolent communication. And I think also with Islam, anybody who's read the Quran, it's definitely a religion of peacefulness, and there's only a very fanatical group that can definitely get co-opted that will make it otherwise. And the same is the case of me. And so I just want to remind you, I just want to take you through a little cruise, because some of you people that are watching this today may not have seen the other video that I put up where I was actually demonstrating what was taken down. And here's my site here. And I just I put a tribute to Beetlejuice. That's a really nice thing on Howard Stern. This is a guy who's slightly, I guess he's autistic, but he has such a beautiful soul. And I wanted to share that because that's very balancing. And then here's something where Paula Gloria attempts nonviolent communication at St. Mark's. That's still up, although for a moment it said this video wasn't available. It made my heart pitter-patter, because I think that if information is out and it's shared, we will start to rivet on to the right thing. See, this blue means it's a live link, but this is what you want to watch out for when it goes black. And this is a video that I had up. If anybody would be complaining about violence, it would have been me. I was the one that got spit upon. And this had 3,800 hits and a whopping 813 comments. And this was rejected. Content not appropriate. So what I'm wondering, does that have anything to do with this? Terrorist content on YouTube? I think not. And again, to that person who says I'm unwelcome at St. Mark's, I will go down there if Frank hangs up on me and Les is not responding. I still want it to be formal, that no planes theory, or it's not actually a theory, these other speculations about who's owning what and who's behind what, those can be speculations and theories. But the no planes is a matter of taking your VCR, rewinding it, and going frame by frame to see that there was television fakery going on. If we don't have, we need a physical place. That's what I'm putting out. We need a physical place, and in order to do that, you need money to do that, but the institutions, it's very important to line up with institutions who are talking about true investigation and true research. So there you go. It's now me again, over and out. I have to change this mouse to stop the stream. Unless anybody wants to call, I'll keep it up for a minute and make any comments. I have 34 minutes right now that I have posted for today, and I guess that's it. Nobody's going to be calling. I'll get this out.